Hey, Anuki here. If you'd like more co-games, show your support on Twitch or join the Discord. Now Jenkins, introduce the commanders, please.
Of course, chum. Allow me to begin with our dashing allied commander, dear old Gary. Hailing from the brave US forces, he's draped in a coat of a royal red that'd make you think of tea at Buckingham Palace. Starting his campaign in the chill north, like a jolly Saint Nick, only with tanks instead of reindeer. I hear things about bold Gary. Saved an entire platoon of Brits over at Sicily, he did. Gary sprinted through a hail of bullets, unarmed, to steal back our stolen brew. Can't command effectively without our tea now, can we? Ended up not only saving the platoon, but also recovered our precious tea reserves. A real hero, if ever I saw one. Now, let's chat about the other side. Our Axis commander, oziligath, from the murky depths of the Wehrmacht, cloaked in the deepest blue you'd ever want nightmares about. He's based in the south, where the sun may be brighter, but the tea ain't half as good. oziligath has a bit of a tale himself. Allegedly, he once demanded half the sausage stock of Vienna to feed his troops. Have you ever seen a bratwurst shortage in Vienna? Me neither. The poor sods didn't have a sausage to their name for weeks. Terribly tragic. Though you gotta hand it to him for prioritizing his meals, of course. Priorities, eh? So there we have it. Should have packed some biscuits along with the heavy artillery. Company always makes one peckish.
Oh, I'm so hungry for biscuits now. Don't bring it up. I want to dunk those biscuits in my tea, but my tea's too cold. Right, the map is Pacino. We've seen this map already before. We have this wrecked-out church, and I love it. And look at the civilian scatter. Is that a priest? No.
Grenadiers assembled.
I was going to say, there's not a priest model in here, surely. Action is happening on the top side of the map. We got pioneers against rifles. We've got pioneers against just building a sandbag. These sandbag walls built by the pioneers themselves. Not being too effective though, because they are flanked and up close. But with a little bit of grenadier reinforcement, they can send those riflemen packing. Always a gamble when you spend all of the forces on the field and dump them on one side of the map, that if you lose that fight, then you end up with a lot of territory that is just uncapped. It's not...
Both really want the East, ignoring the West.
Exactly. I always find it's worth just sending one squad to try and capture random territories that on one side of the map. Otherwise, you might just end up with, like, no map whatsoever, which is terrible. It's a terrible start. You do not want to be in that situation. Now we see both commanders branching out. We get to like 3 minutes in the game, and I wanted to ask, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Jenkins? I think we need to get to know Jenkins a little better. Grenadiers in the building, looking over the plus 60 munitions point. Riflemen just try and keep that distance, but as far away as they can be to cap that territory point, it's still under gunfire, so...
Oh, well. Where to begin, righto? Name's Jenkins. Private in rank. The blokes never saw fit to promote me. The silly sausages. I've been serving Her Majesty's forces around the globe, you see. Take the Battle of Kuala Lumpur, for instance.
Oh, God, here we go.
Fought the Germans in a city that had never seen a bratwurst, let alone a tank.
Oh, God, what's
Had a bit of a ruckus,
sausages?
we did. Tremendous victory. Really knocked the wind out of their lederhosen. Though I must add, due to the rumpus, production of the city's famous rubber duckies took a hit. A true tragedy it was. The kiddies had to bathe without their ducks for a spell. Savage stuff. War. By the end of it all, I reckon it's top-notch to be here, commentating on these lads battling away. Better than having to lug a rifle around, eh? Plus, the seat is quite comfy. I think it's improving my posture already. Might need to requisition one of these for the mess back home.
I just realized that I'm sitting very uncomfortably right now, so I'm going to fix my posture. We got like 8 hours of casting to do today, so make the most of it. Interesting that we're getting some action over on this side of the map this early on. It's more action that you would usually see, but delightful to see nonetheless. A rifle squad is holding out. We have a long-range grenadier squad. They are the last to defend. 4 against 6. The 4 are pretty beat up as well. Gary doesn't mind just moving their troops up to the sandbag line to try and close the gap, get that distance in a more optimal situation for them, but then the reinforcements arrive. I can hear those bar clip eject sounds. Damn, look at that focus fire though. Focusing the flamethrower was highly effective. They've delayed the fuel capture for a bit. Now their rifle squad's having to retreat through the path of grenadier squads. Very dangerous business. They get out though. One of them gets out though. Wait, we still got... Oh, it's a medic.
The enemy has claimed our sector.
Oh, he doesn't care. I'll save you. I don't want to go that far out though. Hey, we got this guy. You gonna do it? You gonna do it? Hey, okay. I guess he just didn't like that guy. No. Oh, fine, fair enough. Whatever. I don't think that was working as it perhaps should. Not the best medics, I'll say that for Gary. Gary could maybe train those medics a little bit better. Jenkins, I just saw Gary's medics deciding not to pick up wounded soldiers on the battlefield for the US forces and bring them back to base. What do you make of that? That's going to be an interesting question for Jenkins. Ooh, Jaeger's out on the field with my favorite rifle, the WEHR 43. G43. Great at anti-infantry, but not so great when they're completely surrounded. A lot of territory sort of trading hands now. We have the coastal reserves, by the way, so this is the
Inuki,
defensive battle group.
You know our transatlantic cousins, always skipping out on a proper brew-up. While we Brits believe in serving one another, these Yanks playing medics reckon they can dodge their duties. Reminds me of this one time Jerry got a lucky shot on my helmet. It rang my bell, but proper, I tell you. And who was there to pick me up? Not a Yank, but me dear old mate Tommy from London.
I thought it was
Nursed
going
me
to be the
back
Queen.
with a steaming cuppa, just like Her Majesty would do, bless her. I wouldn't worry too much about our Gary, though. He strikes me as the sort who can turn a bit of a pickle into a bonanza. And if not, well, we'll send him a proper kettle and some decent tea. That should get the medics moving. They'll be back in the thick of it quicker than you can say Bob's your uncle.
Bob's my uncle. Okay, well, there we go. The medics just need a proper kettle to brew some tea. Who would have known? This is the kind of strategic sound advice that you get from the ground level at private rank. Like, no one's thinking about these things. 221 Scout Car out on the field now. So we see 221 and Jaeger squads working side by side. I really like that. They're some of my favorite units to use as part of the Wehrmacht army when I do play Wehrmacht, which is very rare. Scout car can chase, scout car can move, scout car can hide behind buildings. It is nimble, it is sneaky. Pioneers on the right-hand side, trying to look for some mines, didn't find any, I don't think. Grenadiers out here in open cover, 221 providing some helping fire. You can use vehicles as heavy cover, you will be pleased to know that, Matty. They can also smoke. Smoke them out. Now they're going to have to move away from that heavy cover. Oh, in comes the Greyhound. Nice to see your face. Getting a good side shot there. Surprised oziligath. Stepping out of the grenades. This is looking like a fine engagement. Grenadiers having to retreat. Rifles. They took a lot of damage.
Yes. I am very pleased to see that.
6 models lost. Greyhound giving chase. It's going to step inside the base to try and finish this one off. Doesn't want to go any further than this, though.
The enemy is striking at our
So you can also upgrade Jaegers with Panzerschrecks, but since these have got G43 rifles, they can't do that. The Flak 30 would actually be able to do some damage to the Greyhound. It's just whether or not the Greyhound's going to sit there long enough for it to die. So we are seeing some different units out here. I would have expected to see more Coastals out on the field. Coastals were a really effective force when they were first released. Do I get any information from Twitch chat how the Coastals are performing today? I would love to hear it. The defensive battle group was something that looked pretty
Red
interesting.
still has a good foothold against blue. Let's see if their artillery is a good answer to this problem.
I mean, let's see how this Flak 30 is going to effectively hold some ground. Seems like it wants to be on the north side at the moment. Now, remember what I said about Pacino being quite a wide map and trying to not spread your forces too thin. It can be quite difficult with the center of the map here being so shrouded. There's lots of buildings which are covering line of sight, which can make it hard if you're focusing on the left or right-hand side of the map.
Coastals are still quite cost-efficient, but they're not very popular to successive nerfs to the officer and bunker overwatch.
Okay, so it was the officer that got nerfed.
Ability activated.
Right. I'd like to see the officer. That would be nice to see. The officer isn't out on the field at the moment, so... Interesting if we will see the officer at all. Pioneers climb inside of the windows. Or in the building. Oh, but there's a grenade waiting for them on the other side of the building. I don't know what kind of mind games was going on here between Gary and the other Gary known as llGaryll, but it was cool to see.
Converting bunker to a medical facility.
Flag 30 inching up ever so slightly. 221 still out here as well. They got Vet 1. They've got 12 kills on them. Great work. You don't usually see these things alive for too long. That rifle squad getting picked off on two fronts by pieces of equipment they can't affect.
The turret seems to be going well.
200 points remain. We are losing our grasp.
I like your whispering commentary. Yeah, so far, accurate assessment. Red does seem to be thinning out. They managed to keep their rifleman squad alive, though, just retreating at the very last moment. Blue trying to put themselves in front so that they can pick off rifles as they retreat, getting hold of those victory points. Blue's tickets are down quite considerably, though, so there's a lot of ground to cover, a lot of tickets to make up for. Greyhound with only 3 kills at the moment. Probably wants to find an angle of approach, somewhere where it can do some damage. With light vehicles like these, it can be really good at holding down points because you can just quickly send a nippy vehicle to go defend against some, rando troops that are trying to capture territory, such as Pioneers, which are ill-equipped with a minesweeper. And then you can just bring that Greyhound back to whatever core battle you want to be focusing on. Right now, Gary needs to find a solution for the middle of the map, or figure out how they want to go capture the victory point on the far right-hand side. A bunch of their forces are held up in base, though, waiting to return to battle. We have a mortar out here in the field as well. It's nice to see that. It's the first time we're seeing a mortar today, I believe. Second Jaeger squad out here as well. Wonder if that will be upgraded to a Panzerschreck. Certainly be a useful tool against the Greyhound as it's around in here. Flag 30 moving around onto the left side of the map. Won't be too effective against the Greyhound's speediness. But you got to try, though, haven't you? Greyhound moves into the middle of the map now. Needs infantry support. We have an infantry squad moving around the back. Mortar is a great tool for units inside of buildings. We heard some mines go off, I think. Yep. Oh, it was a wonderful mine placement right there. Mines on the flanks, protecting your flanks. Jaegers holding out behind a sandbag. They've got rifles to their right in a building. They've got rifles in front.
We have advanced weaponry ready to be deployed.
Mortar is focusing the Flak 30 prime target. Even if you don't get the kill, you force it to displace itself from providing fire support to other squads in the area. Jaeger's inside the church building. They at least hold the victory point, though, so it's kind of a tricky situation for Gary, as obviously they would like to move up and capture this victory point.
The enemy have taken our territory.
If they do so, they're going to be under fire. Unless the mortar... Yeah, the mortar dislodges the troops inside of the church. 223, or 221 rather, moves up. 223 is a more powerful version. I think that's got the...
Victory point is under enemy control.
Can't remember what it's called. Bigger gun. It goes boom boom harder. My god, how have I forgot everything? It used to be like a Men of War caster, where Men of War has like 500 vehicles, and I know all the details about them. Now I'm just some washed up caster. Great. Jenkins, take over for me. Look at this angle of the Greyhound.
Great strides in veterancy, slightly continuing their momentum from the earlier push. Red seems to have other plans for the west side, though.
Yeah, keep it a secret though. Don't let everyone know. Be quiet about it. We got a Whirlwind Flak Panzer out here. Jenkins, do you know anything about the Whirlwind Flak Panzer that the Germans had? Probably not. I can't wait for this one. It's got such a great name. This will definitely hurt the Greyhound. You can see Gary is scared.
Victory point locked.
On one hand, you've got the Flak 30 here, stationary piece of equipment. On the other hand, you've got this Flak Panzer. Look at it, look at it, look at the damage.
Ah, the Wobble-Wind Flak Panzer.
Not the Wobble-Wind.
Now that's a mouthful and a half, innit? Reminds me of the incident at Cologne.
Oh god.
The blokes and I were huddled behind a heap of rubble when out strolls this massive German tin can with a cannon that could puncture a hole through Her Majesty's finest scones. We were all bricking it when old Sarge yells out, "Wobble, wind, flak, Panzer." No clue about German, but Sarge had a theory that it's just English words with extra consonants. And I'll be a monkey's uncle if it didn't work. That hunk of metal wobbled right into a windy alley where the flak from our anti-tank had it dancing the jitterbug with all its panzer bits. Smashed to smithereens it was. If you ever find yourself facing a Wobble-Wind Flak Panzer, just remember old Sarge's words and toss out your best Cockney rhyming slang. Bob's your uncle. You might just confuse him enough to pull off a win.
If you ever see one of these, you just gotta look at it and go, wobble, wind, flak, panzer. It's like the earth, fire, wind, water element combined. I bring the wobble. I bring the wind. Anyway, craziness. Back to serious mode. Greyhound armored car obviously doesn't want to be anywhere near that stuff, so it's gonna instead
that would make for a good soy jack.
Yeah, it's gonna instead just go where it can actually be effective, which happens to be on this side of the map because the Flak Panzers are not over here. Or the Flak Panzer and the Flak 30 isn't over here. My god. Wobble, wind. It's just gonna wobble so hard. It's wobbling all over me. Nice to see the mortar's still ticking. I don't think it's got any kills. It hasn't got any kills. Sometimes you see this quite a lot. Mortars don't typically get a lot of kills, but they do deal a lot of damage. Things don't usually die to mortars.
Equal footing in territory, and Blue is bringing in another tank.
Oh god, yeah, we got... It's double wobble. Oh god. Jenkins, it just so happens that oziligath has brought in another Whirlwind Flak Panzer. How would you counter that? Oh, in fact, they're doing tremendously well. They've killed one with the AT guns. 2 AT guns. That's how you counter it. Impressive snipes. Now they've got to worry about all of this infantry moving up.
Oh, bloody crumpets. Another wobble-wind flak panzer, is it? Blimey, you'd think they'd have learnt their lesson. Now, if it were me and my old mates on the front line, we'd put our thinking caps on for this one. Boils down to a good old Sherman tank with a dash of British grit, I'd wager. That whirlwind can cause a real ruckus.
Oh, you got it!
A well-placed shell from the Sherman can turn it into a box of German bratwursts before you can say fish and chips. So chin up, and let's show them what the Allies can do, eh? If it doesn't work, the Queen can always send in her royal corgis to scare them off. Now there's a sight to behold.
How did you get wobble wind right the first time? No, you got no, it's not called wobble wind. It's not. You've got me thinking they're called wobble winds now. You said it was a wobble wind, and then you said whirlwind the second time round. This is why AI just isn't gonna work. Oh, bloody hell, another wobble wind, mate. In either case, though, 221 destroyed. Wobble wind destroyed. We have an anti-tank bunker down here looking upon the central victory point.
To the whirlwinds. The scout car has also been picked like a nose, too.
Oh, great commentary. Thanks, Maddie. We're getting a concrete bunker down here. Converted into anything? No, it's just using the commander ability, rapid fortifications, to build that. We also have this resource cache. You can build resource caches on points to increase the yield that you get from them. Got an infantry battle up here. Look at all these Jaeger squads, by the way. We got one of every flavor, too. We got a G43 one, we got the Panzerschreck one, and we just got, you know, vanilla Jaegers. Lovely positioning. Mortars are firing down on the Panzerschreck squad. They go ahead and retreat. G43 rifles are getting behind. This is excellent positioning because this is going to deny the cover. Cover directionality is important. Using sprint. Fine play there from Gary. Moving outside of the range of the G43 because they were no longer in range.
I hope we can get one in chocolate, too.
Amazing tactical abilities on display for Gary.
Enemy forces have captured a victory point.
Now we've got to see how they might deal with this wobble wind. Bleimenwerfer was dropped down in middle. Is anyone going to go pick that up? Maybe the Grenadiers like the sound of that. There you go. Sometimes weapons do drop on the ground that you can pick up. Trying to fix the stiffness in the wobble wind, get it back to maximum wobbleness. Double AT guns looking upon the central victory point as well. Just being there in case that wobble wind decides to move up. AT guns can also pick off this anti-tank bunker. That would be a sound choice. Not with the flamethrower squad there, though. Grenades away. Ambitious grenade. You see, every time that wobble wind decides to try and pop out for a few shots,
The ability is ready.
goes in for a world of hurt. Repair bunker. So this repair bunker has some pioneers with it, I think. No, it does not. I'm thinking of a different one. I think the normal repair bunker. I don't know. There used to be pioneers that came out and repaired things. I don't know if that changed or not. That's the case with the Allied one.
The whirlwind is in for a bad time with those artillery cannons, waiting to pounce like a lion.
A Luftwaffe officer shall improve performance.
In the meantime, though, triple cap for a llGaryll. Exactly what they need. They're only on 109 tickets. I think we're getting some airburst. So the mortar got Vet 1. For the US forces, they can choose to... Oh, damn, nice hit. Select an ability. And the airburst barrage is one such ability. We've got to flank over on the left-hand side. I don't know what these riflemen are trying to ambitiously do, but they are just in Flak Panzer land. They found some cover, which is going to help. They are holding out. Look at the rapid fire from that. So we got white phosphorus rounds on the Flak Panzer. Now comes the flamethrower as well. Impressive work from the rifle.
Make a good pace for tickets in territory. If they keep this up, this could be very close.
Double AT guns are right here, but they're not setting up. They need to set up. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Side hits in as well. With a sticky grenade on top, engine damaged. I think it's more than just the engine. It's going to crash into that building and explode. Well done. We've got more action over on the map, though, as llGaryll is pushing on the right-hand side. We have tanks out here, too. Finally, the Sherman Easy 8. This should be quite a effective vehicle on the battlefield now that there are no tanks to deal with. Look, it's still good against infantry. It's great against infantry. It's going to be great against a Flak 30 as well. Not much in terms of a response, though, for our llGaryll. We do have a captured M1 anti-tank gun. Oh, and that's actually doing considerably well. Flak 30 was buttoning the vehicle, which slows it down. And we got the anti-tank bunker as well. Don't forget that. I forgot that. So Easy 8 appears. Easy 8 has to immediately retreat. Why was that? Because Gary didn't have infantry in front of their tanks screening for them.
The enemy has claimed our territory for their own.
Infantry is more than just a force to stick in front of things to fight other infantry. They're there to provide vision so that you can make sound, tactical, informed decisions. Now here's that artillery officer that I was talking about earlier. They can help fortify the area, like whatever territory they are in, building speed is faster, so you can make sandbags, bunkers, barbed wire, tank traps. We've not seen any tank traps yet. You rarely do. I don't think anyone ever really truly uses tank traps. But they can provide heavy cover. I love this about this coastal reserves as well. They now have 7 squad members. Once they get Vet 2, they increase their squad size.
The flamethrower is making Boyd regrets for that infantry push.
Oh, flamethrowers are great to combine just in your forces in general. Just mix them in with your regular squads. And then if your regular squad has a flamethrower, even better. Because when you have like a pioneer squad with just 3 people in it, and one of them has a flamethrower, it's pretty easy to focus that squad, and then bye-bye flamethrower. They might drop it, you might lose the squad, or they have to retreat so quickly. When it's a grenadier squad, a 6-man squad with a flamethrower, oh, stepping on a mine there. A bit more of an issue. 16 infantry kills, 1 vehicle kill as well. Amazing work from the rifleman squad. You can see that the veterancy is getting up there for the US. Did manage to decap the cutoff point. It is now being recaptured.
Received. Enemy is down to 200 points.
Everything being focused on this side of the map. In the meantime, though, llGaryll still holding on to 2 victory points. This is quite the close match. I think the closest one that we have maybe had tonight. As we are approaching, wow!
To be bringing in a new tank.
It's almost 30 minutes in.
Like flies.
Yeah, I think that's now 2 Easy 8s. This problem is starting to compound. But again, don't forget the anti-tank bunker. It's not moved. It doesn't move. It does not have legs. Just firing 1 Panzerschreck shot and then on the retreat. Action slightly spread out. We try and cover it all, but all the unit decorator icons are starting to shroud the action. Army sizes big. Oh, did you step outside onto a mine? That's unfortunate. BAR rifles doing some good work, but I think the flamethrower wins this. Nice shot for the mortar. Here comes that medic again. Is he going to be distracted, or is he actually going to find someone worth helping? There he is.
point lost.
Oh, give me tea. Please tell me, do they have that new kettle back at base? Oh, they don't? Just leave me here then. I don't want to go back.
Marder, tank destroyer is ready for combat.
Movement now on the south side of the map. We've not had too much
really
action
good on
here.
this patch. A grenadier squad with a flamethrower is bonkers.
I thought flamethrowers were just generally bonkers anyway. They're such high damage. It seems like if you don't have a flamethrower working in your composition, you are probably going to be losing a decent percentage more of your matches. And I think that's mainly because of how flamethrowers seem to work in Company of Heroes 3, where AoE damage is how it's kind of calculating. We've got like a strange ambush here, but not really much of an ambush. Easy 8 advancing, but there is that M1 anti-tank gun firing. It's not looking too good. Already having to retreat. Now a Marder is on the field as well. Marder is
1.8.0 increased flamethrower AoE by about 25%,
oh my God,
which made them much more accurate in the sense that they'll hit squads that aren't even that bunched up.
That is pretty insane. I think this Marder is a great choice, just trying to outrange the things. We've got to be careful, though, of those easy 8s just charging up, but as we've seen, llGaryll hasn't had any problems with the easy 8s charging right up. They've just kind of dealt loads of damage. I guess it's more of a case of Gary approaching with those easy 8s, maybe at a very ill-timed moment, in an ill-timed place. What's needed is more reconnaissance, and less losing squads. Cutoff point once again captured by our 7-man squad of buddies. Gary stuck inside their base. Get out! Get out there! Getting some repairs. Double engineer squad for fast repairs. Meanwhile, whilst there is some action down here, grenade away. Oh, it packs a punch. It was a good grenade. It wasn't filled with sawdust. Got another bunker back here, though. This one's a medical bunker. So we'll heal up. Was that a +1 free reinforcement marker? I've never seen that before. That was cool. I know that you can get free reinforcements to the coastal guards near bunkers, which is tremendously helpful. Looks like there's a big push down in middle to try and get down this bunker with the AT guns, I would assume. Don't want to be attacking those with your tanks, but when it gets low enough, you might want to like just rush up and finish it off. There, 3 Jaeger squad in trouble. It gets out alive, I think. This is more like it. Easy 8s probing the other side of the map this time, and they fully commit to it. Now doing the Dancy dodge round the anti-tank gun. Big battles. We got heavy artillery coming down, or light artillery from the officer, just for a brief moment in time. They might lose their life over it. Easy 8s really want to go forward and try and pick that off. It's looking like a huge amount of losses for llGaryll. Gary has found the moment pristine for striking.
Red is making a huge push.
It's all over the place.
Bunker in shambles. Blue is in for a tough time once again.
And then Gary walks back. And I think this is important. This is something I see a lot of players trip up on. You win a battle, and you don't retreat yourself. You've got to be realistic with how much you can maintain your field presence. Like, whilst your enemy is falling back, it can be very tempting to just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. But, look, what's it going to be? You win one battle, you claim some territory. You win a second battle, you claim some territory. You win a third battle, you claim some territory. Each time, you get weaker. At what point do you call it and say, okay, I think I should recall myself now and fix myself up, ready, set, go for the next battle? So, great moment just to like pull back, recuperate,
We have lost the sector.
and hopefully get these last 57 tickets. They've got the tremendous advantage. I'm saying tremendous a lot, I know. It's tremendously good. Grenades away, but they're all spaced out. Oh no, they ran into the grenade.
He's
That
still
was...
winning in ticket attrition, and that's what matters in the grand scheme of it all.
How's the mortar faring? I want to know. Look at this line of AT guns, by the way. They even captured the Flak 30. Nasty stuff. No, I wanted to see. Oh, I guess I'll see you soon.
Hey, Vivi here. I edit and upload the videos here on Ironcast. If you want to see Anuki cast more, then like the video, leave a comment, subscribe, come along to the Discord, do anything to let him know. Anuki would love to cast more if you'd like to see more.